Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 20th January 2017. The first article is about Ottoman and its discontents. Here we will discuss about growing right wing and fading out of liberalism project in the world. Now, across the history, you have classical examples how vilification of certain groups has happened and how the political gains have occurred to few political parties through this vilification. If you see the Nazism, fascism, it typically involves vilification of certain groups based on their identities to make their way to the state power. Now, if you take the American history, 1960s to present day or post World War II era to present day, there is progressivism and also expansion of the definition of the citizenship. The rights of the people have got expanded and added to that the African Americans, the same sex marriages, decriminalization of the children of illegal immigrants, all these reflect accommodative stance, tolerance to different cultures and way of life in the American society. But this appears to be changing. What are the reasons? Now, Americans are very much suspecting their own institutional structures, their own state mechanism, which has once provided them with the safety nets and also once have provided for wider definition of their citizenship. Now, the first thing is the politics have become more managerial and transactional, or we can call it as bureaucratic incrementalism of politics, where the problems of the people are understood more from a technical perspective rather than political perspective. So, there are more than the rights of the people. Today, we are seeing it as providing for consumer benefits to the people. So, let me clearly say it as this way. So, the liberalism has offered two things to the people. One is equity and the other one is efficiency. For this, the state shall have the redistributive capacities and abilities to deliver. Both of them have failed in American society today. The major reason being the neoliberal politics that have become to the strength, or neoliberal economies which have gained significance in American society and across the world. And then, after this, the liberalism is also being questioned much beyond its limits today. So, liberalism is questioned from the cultural perspective. In the name of liberalism and progressivism, culture has become instrumental and monoculturalization of the globe has increased. So that's why the arrogance of the liberalism has to be shunned. This is what is the second dimension of argument. So in this discussion, the right-wing populistic authoritarianism is using the old vocabulary of Nazism and fascism to gain traction with the voters. It is happening across America and Europe now, which is a danger to the world. So that is what this article talks about. So the simple thing is, whenever the social safety nets of the people are decreasing, then when the stress has increased, the societies are moving towards right-wing authoritarianism, and it is happening in America now. The limits of popular sentiment. It is about Jallikattu. Now, Jallikattu can be seen as a traditional sport in southern districts of Tamil Nadu. At the same time, Jallikattu also can be seen as violation of the rights of animals. So, Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act prohibits any such harm being done to the animals in the name of sport. So then, the Supreme Court has provided an opportunity to the Tamil Nadu government and Animal Welfare Board of Tamil Nadu to provide for a safety or a safe game both for the animals and the people. But however, it was failed. Then the Supreme Court gave a judgment favoring the prevention of cruelty to animals and banned the Jallikattu as a sport. Now there is a popular uprising in Tamil Nadu in this. The Jallikattu to be recognized as a traditional sport in alignment with the culture of Tamil Nadu. So we need to understand it as perspective of the rule of law. Here, Both the government and civil society can give a representation to the judiciary that the safety of the human and animal will be protected and the traditional sport will be renewed in its spirit rather than in its changed form. Then the judiciary can relook into the matter. Unlike this, if the government wants to find a backdoor route through ordinance, it may not sound well with the rule of law and also well with the respect for judiciary. That's what this article talks about. Now, safe childhood for safe India. The child labor leads to poverty. The child labor also increases the deprivation for the children, leading to illiteracy. In this context, there is an extreme form of child labor in the form of slavery and also prostitution, etc. So, the 182 ILO Convention 182 and 138 they are meant to define the age of the children and also the worst forms of the child labor. Almost 180 countries have ratified this till date, and India also is about to ratify them. So, global march, or else what I can say it as, the march against child labor has led to these conventions passed in ILO. India, as a founding member, has a responsibility to ratify them. And Madhesi parties should be flexible. In this, Madhesi's demands in Nepal are two: the provincial reorganization, proportional representation, equal citizenship. So, provincial reorganization, what they talk about is the Madhesi majority provinces shall not be mixed with the other areas. Proportional representation, the number of seats for them shall be represented in accordance with their population. So, in this case, the foreign minister of Nepal clearly states that there have to be accommodative stance on both the sides. Added to that, as constitutional quagmire is not about to end in the is not about to end, he explains that elections have to take the front seat before the constitutional amendments. Reopening the world wounds. It is about the comfort women. During the World War II, the Japanese troops used Korean, Chinese women as comfort women. Now, that is a gruesome terror which was inflicted by the Japanese forces. Now, Japanese prime ministers from time to time have given their apologies, and an agreement was reached in 2015 between Korea and Japan, where Japan has paid compensation to these living women. But however, it is a scar on the South Korean society even today, and it is also an emotionally charged issue. Now, how the World War II is seen in Europe and in Japan. In Europe, it is more seen as Nazism as a crime on humanity. But in the Japan, the war heroes are still respected. There is an Ekusuni shrine which provides for a temple or a shrine for the war heroes. So, the Japanese treats World War II more as not a defeat but as a respect to its war heroes. That's what is something the author exposes over here. And coming to Jallikattu, I am very much surprised about the nature of the protest over here. It is peaceful, spontaneous, leaderless, and mobilized through social media. So that is the nature of the movement here. And UK seeks Indian help in Chagos archipelago. The Chagos archipelago in Indian Ocean consists of the US military base, Diego Gracias. Now, the Chagos archipelago, UK considers as its territory and it has leased it to United States for its naval presence. So, UK is seeking the India's intervention to talk to Mauritius so that the issue will be resolved peacefully, and it claims that it is also necessary from India's security point of view. These are the articles for today. Thank you very much and all the best.